theater group came out here to New York in roughly January of 2011. It was very exciting, a big group of us, about 15 total. And when we first got here, we actually started working right away. We wrote a variety show called The Heavy Petting Zoo, and we did that at the Waltz Astoria. After that, we did a couple of shows in Manhattan. We did Reasons to be Pretty by Neil Butte, and we did an original by one of our members, John Schaller, God Chairs in the Infinite Burrito.
Sarah just put the word out that we wanted to focus on original works. So I wrote my own play, God Chairs in the Infinite Burrito. I will say that the show begins with two characters working on a final assignment in college that are best friends, and then one of them confesses to the other that he is God. And I think ultimately the plot depends on whether or not the audience, just as an individual, believes that that character is God or not. There was so much wonder associated with all the stuff that goes in between the lines. There's a portion of the scene where Mike Tubman's character hands these note cards off to his friend. It was just supposed to be that he was handing him the words of the project. Well, Mike Tubman actually sat down and wrote out all of these note cards. And then at the very end of the show, he hands me the note cards. And it was actually an explanation as to why he was God. There were so many moments that I think I had with all four of the guys. I loved that. I loved those small examples of somebody taking something and then really making it their own, but adding their own details.
And we got very attached to our community here in Astoria and Queens, so we decided to start producing out here. We were able to produce an original of mine called The Cast Party, a survival story, that we did in Long Island City at the Secret Theater. We all had such a great time. It was just a fun show to do.
My name is Taryn Kellogg, and I directed The Cast Party, a survival story. The Cast Party is about a theater group who is celebrating what they fear is their final production, and all of the drama and emotions that come out of that. My favorite moments were always the moments when an actor would run up to me or Sarah, the writer, and say, I've got this great idea for my character. What if we did this? The actors in the show were so invested and passionate about their characters that they came up with ideas that Sarah and I couldn't come up with. It was such a joy to see them take this role, just completely take off with it and make it their own.
We actually were able to find a home here in Astoria at the Boys and Girls Club and able to do our current season, which is our 10th anniversary Hamlet themed season. So we kicked it off with Hamlet. It was very daunting and scary to tackle that masterpiece, but I think we did a wonderful job.
Hamlet was the most challenging, exciting, fun, you throw an adjective in there, it pertains experience I've had in the theater. It was looking at the mountain of Everest and looking at it and going, there's no way we could scale this mountain, but we'll be damned if we don't try. I threw 2 months of my life researching the play and the characters and the themes, and we've never done a big internet casting before. We've had 700 submissions and saw 90 actors in 12 hours in a full block day of casting in Manhattan Theater Club. And I was just met with wonderful creativity and wonderful passion from the cast and great support from my Ophelia teammates. And everybody came together to really make this a passion project. I can't speak enough about how monumental the task seemed at the beginning, and now looking back on it, how rewarding reaching the finish line was.
In September, we did Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead by Tom Stoppard. Everyone was very wild and silly, but it was a really, really fun show, and I was very proud of it.
I was then stepping into a role onto which a lot of the other guys just had absolute control over where the scene would go, and I had to be basically one of the straight men for the occasion. So every one of them wasn't playing to the audience as much as they were just trying to make me laugh. All of your fellow castmates want to make sure that you're having a good time, but they also are doing it partially for their own ego too, to just see if they can break you. And every time they did, they were just uber happy that it happened. That play references so very much. It represents almost a full education of the author at that time and what he believed and what he was trying to say with it. It references philosophy, other plays, and I thought, oh, if I'm just coming off of doing Hamlet, this is going to be easy because I've done Hamlet. But the truth was, it was a lot more reading than just that.
And now, of course, we're working on Fortinbras by Lee Blessing.
Hi, I'm Tyler Hastings. I'm directing Fortinbras for Ophelia's 10th anniversary season. Fortinbras is a Lee Blessing play that actually takes place immediately after Hamlet ends. Prince Fortinbras himself comes in and basically decides to give himself his own story of how he became king, something that gives him a purpose, as he says. So he decides to rewrite the entire show, rewrite entirely what happens during Hamlet, and create his own little spin on things. It's a story that you'll come in expecting one thing, leave with a completely different idea of not only the text itself, Fortinbras, but also the original text, Hamlet. Fortinbras will be opening January 17th for the following 3 weekends as well. Come join us.